in our own way, be grateful for the love that has been shown each one of us, the graduating seniors, and for the opportunities given to us to respond to the love and to share the love with others during these past 4 years. As we come to such a major stepping stone in the paths of our lives, we give thanks for all the efforts that have been poured into our lives through our parents and our teachers and the many people of this community who have done so much to encourage us and enrich our educational environment. We are also grateful for the recognition and the honors that this district has received of the dedication and service of the students here this evening. But we know that the real fruit of our labors will be revealed as we, young men and women, move on to accomplish the goals that have been set for us. So, our offering this evening is this, that our lives will be touched in such a way that will enable us to reach our total potential, that we will seek wisdom and strength in all of our endeavors, that our eyes will be focused so that we can receive every blessing that is in store for us, and that we will always be filled with a desire to serve others. Thank you, and you may be seated.
Hello. On behalf of Upper St. Clair's graduating class of 2002, I would like to welcome all the faculty members, family, and friends who are seated in this stadium this evening to watch this special event. 12 years of schooling is about to come to an end as we embark on a new chapter in our lives. To all of my classmates, to those I have known for all of those 12 years, and to those I have just met this year, I would like to thank you all for the wonderful memories and wish everyone the best of luck in everything in life. With no further ado, good luck to everyone, and let the commencement begin.
I've never been to commencement before, but all I've ever heard is how long the speeches were and how many there were. So get comfortable because you have a few more after mine and we can all speak for 2 minutes. But I hope everyone listens long enough because I think someone will say something that may strike you. When most people found out they were going to be valedictorians, they started stressing about what to say, trying to make their speech original, memorable, funny but serious, not too corny and applicable to everyone, all at the same time. Well, the way most see it is this is about the class of 2002, and that's what we all tried to say. You most likely won't remember what I said or that I was up here. I hope you will just remember all the fun and the memories you had and you made for yourselves in high school. I still wanted to try to be original in this speech, but I don't think there's a way to be truly original. Whatever I say, I'm sure someone else used a similar idea. I didn't want to come up here and quote someone else's beliefs or tell you my personal history or explain my own accomplishments. I didn't want to go on about our future or our past. But a friend mentioned a quote that just seemed appropriate to me, so I figured I'd go with what has been done and hope no one's too bored by it. The Grateful Dead wrote a song called Touch of Grey. And one of the lines that my friend pointed out to me while I complained about having no ideas for a speech was every silver lining's got a touch of gray. Right now, we are leaving the world we have known for 4 years. This is what we've waited for, and if you're like me, you're enthralled about leaving high school behind and going out to be that much closer to the real world. But that means that we're growing up. We're leaving all the trivialities of high school, and we really are going to be closer to the real world. No one is going to be there to tell you what to do or where to be. For most people, that is a wonderful freedom, but there's a little nostalgia there. We're leaving our friends and the safety of these walls to be our own individuals. I know you all know this, but for me, it hasn't sunken in yet. We're finally graduating, and some of you I've known since kindergarten. We've been together this long, and we've worked hard to get here. Thanks to all the people that have gotten me this far. So this is our silver lining, our reward. But that touch of gray is that we aren't done. We can't stop now. I hope that 10-year reunion, I see many successful classmates who aren't just the ones giving speeches today. We all made it here. I just get to come up here and challenge you to finish it out. To quote the end of Touch of Gray, we will get by, we will survive. Good luck, class of 2002.
After 4 years of high school, I stand before you, the class of 2002, to share my words of wisdom as we meet as a class for the last time. I have to say this is an intimidating job, and I'm not sure what advice I'm qualified to give to my friends and peers. A wise man named Jack Handy once said, "I don't pretend to have all the answers. I don't pretend to even know what the questions are. Hey, where am I?" Well, like Jack, I don't know all the answers or all the questions, but I do know where I am. For the past 4 years, my goal has been to speak at this ceremony as a valedictorian. But now that we've reached our high school graduation, where do we go from here? Now I realize what I've learned and then what I'd like to tell my classmates. Life is often thought of as a series of goals, education, graduation, employment, and retirement. While it is important that we set goals, I believe the most important part of life is not our final objectives. It is the road we travel. Personally, my fondest and most vivid memories will not be of this or of any other ceremony. I'll remember lacrosse seasons, backyard football, dance parties, the league, and all the other great times I've shared with my classmates. So for my advice to the class of 2002, continue working hard toward the future, but don't let the best times of your life pass you by. Live for every moment with no regrets. As life speeds towards the future, roll down the window, take in the fresh air, and enjoy the scenery. Thank you and congratulations, class of 2002.
If I could just say a few words, I'd be a better public speaker. Indeed, instead of starting off my speech with a quote from a famous scientist or world leader, I chose to quote Homer Simpson. Why? Because that's simply the type of person I am. Look, we've been sheltered here in the Upper St. Clair bubble for the last 12 or so years. But for the next 4 years, most of us will be in a strange new place. And we will have to branch out and make new friends, as we will be nearly alone. Well, at least those of us who are not going to Penn State. And then whenever we reach the end of the road of life and reflect upon our respective journeys, we will certainly measure our success by our relationships with others rather than by our bank accounts. I know I can never have reached this milestone without help along the way. I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, Beth, Lance, Matt, Evan, Heather, Kristen, Adina, and Amanda. When we ultimately look back on our lives, one of the most important crossroads will be June 9, 2002. Signs are pointing us in a million different directions. But before each of us steps foot onto our new path of life, let us remember the words of the famous writer, Ralph Waldo Emerson. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. We should embrace the journey of our life, reminisce on the excursions of the past, prepare for the expeditions of the future. Most importantly, seize each opportunity to live life to its fullest. If you take only one thing from my speech, and that's actually quite optimistic, just let it be the following. Don't let life merely be a series of destinations. Instead, enjoy the trip. No matter what obstacles you may be faced with. Take the scenic route. Laugh often, dance like no one's watching, and make the world a better place just by being in it. Ultimately, you will realize that it's the little things that make life worth living.
Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, and fellow graduates. I consider it a great blessing to be able to speak to you today. A friend of mine, Rory, has been lying in a hospital bed in a coma since Monday. While staying at a drug rehab clinic in Florida, Rory was made to take antidepressant medication, and this medication caused him to sleep for long periods of time. While he was sleeping on Monday, Rory vomited and choked in his sleep. He suffered a lack of oxygen for up to 8 hours because he didn't wake up. He was a bluish color when they found him. Since then, Rory has suffered massive heart damage, massive kidney damage. He's had 2 strokes. He has pneumonia. And if he ever wakes up, he'll have so much brain damage that he'll never be the same. Rory is barely 20 years old. From alcohol to marijuana to amphetamines, Rory has tried it, but he's no better person for it. Rory was blessed with excessive good looks so that girls flocked around him, but he still wasn't happy. His parents could buy him almost anything, good clothes, cars, you name it, but he was still lost. You see, it happens, Rory reminds me a great deal of King Solomon from the Bible, whose story has been found to be historically accurate. The man had as much money as Bill Gates. His palace was beyond extravagant. He had 700 wives and 500 mistresses. His fame spread all over the known world, and he was the epitome of success. Yet, like Rory's life, the world's view of success did not bring happiness to Solomon. Solomon even tried drinking and throwing wild parties, but to no avail. In Ecclesiastes of the Bible, Solomon wrote that there was nothing new under the sun that he had not yet experienced. He found that nothing was wholesome and fulfilling except a relationship with God. Fellow graduates, imagine you have a very well-respected grandfather that has lived over 100 years. I'm sure that all of you would heed his wisdom if he asked to give you advice about his experience. Solomon lived a long time himself and had much experience also, so listen to it. The only truly fulfilling exploit in life is to seek God. Congratulations, and may he bless all of your futures. Thank you.
Throughout high school, I've always joked with my older sister Mandy that I was going to get a B on purpose, just so I wouldn't have to give this rare speech. I was afraid and I wasn't sure what exactly I should say. When I asked some of my friends for ideas, all they could come up with was, "Thank you, Stacy Malkin," "Katie Sermer's my hero," or "Lindsay Wellens the coolest." So I decided that the best advice I could give was the quote from philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. He said, "He who would learn to fly one day must first learn to stand and walk and run and climb and dance. One cannot fly and decline." Up until this point, throughout elementary, middle, and high school, we've had to take the small steps, the running, the walking, the climbing, in order to obtain the knowledge and skill that we needed. Now we're prepared, we're ready, and we can fly on the wings of our dreams. In following my own dreams, many people have helped me along the way. I'd like to thank my parents, my siblings, Chip, Mary, Mandy, and Katie, and Graham for their continuing support, and all of my friends, specifically Eric, Adina, and Steph, for always reminding me to laugh so hard that I cried. I'm going to miss all of you so much. I hope that all of you also remember to thank the people who have helped you along the way. But most importantly, always remember the determination that has led you to your successes. Hang on to your determination and on to everything that you love. As we walk out of here as a graduated class of 2002, we will face many new challenges. Challenges that can only be overcome with courage and an understanding that our lives are simply what we make them. For as the great visionary Walt Disney once said, all of our dreams can come true if we only have the courage to pursue them. Thank you. Congratulations.
High school and college share the coveted reputation of being the best times of your life. To date, I hope that every member of the class of 2002 can validate that statement. Although high school and our childhood have now ended, we will take with us and always treasure the many memories of how things once were and never will be again. We spent 4 years dreaming about moving on and graduating. However, now that it's time to leave, many of us are clinging to our innocent, carefree lives that we must now and forever leave behind. These last few years pass very quickly. Use this experience to realize that you don't get a second chance in life. This is it. Instead of waiting, realize what you have and enjoy it while you can. It is better to regret something you did than to always regret something you didn't do. So now, As we move on to college and go our separate ways, be comforted by the fact that we are all going through the same experiences, and then find the courage to step beyond the status quo, to seize every opportunity, and to cherish every moment of your promising college years. Remember how quickly the good times turn into memories that represent a past many of us will long to cling on to. Don't rush into the future too fast, because although the future represents ambitious hopes, it also represents the end of your current phase in life. Live for now. Don't miss out by hurrying through life in constant search of something better while overlooking the joys of today. And most importantly, just don't grow up too fast. Thank you, Mom, my family, and good luck to everyone.
I realized that we all felt something different this morning when we woke up and put on our caps and gowns. But I also know that today does not only mark the end of the past 4 years. Instead, it is the culmination of many experiences that some of us have shared as early as preschool. We've helped each other learn how to tie our shoes and how to pump higher in the swings. We've gone through those awkward middle school years together and felt so cool the first time we attended a Fort Couch social. Then we made it to the high school and started to face the ups, downs, frustrations, and triumphs of being young adults. By junior year, we had our first taste of true independence when we proudly learned how to drive. And before we knew it, we were finally seniors. The countdown began, and on the last day of school, even though some seniors had tears in their eyes, the fact that high school was over really didn't sink in. It wasn't until graduation practice, when I had a chance to look around and see rows of people with whom I had spent the last years, that I suddenly realized how I was leaving something very special behind. Even though we may not know each of our peers individually, as a class, we've been through a lot together. We've grown up together. And sure, we'll make new friends next year, set out to pursue our own interests, and things will change, but we'll always share that history that has brought us this far. I want to say thanks to my friends for some great times. I know we can all agree that one of the best parts of high school is the friends that help you through everything. I will miss the laughs the most because there is something about spontaneous laughter that emails, letters, and long-distance phone calls can never recreate. Mom and Dad, thank you so much for your guidance, love, and never-ending support. Anish, thanks for being the coolest brother. I love you very much. To the class of 2002, remember, life is not measured by the number of breaths you take, but by the number of moments that take your breath away. I hope you go out there and give each moment everything you have, make each moment count, and never give up on your dreams. Good luck, best wishes, and congratulations.
I believe Gary Trudeau said it best when he commented, "Commencement speeches were invented largely in the belief that outgoing high school students should never be released into the world until they have been properly sedated." Especially when the graduating class has to listen to 14 of them. Thus, I will make my comments brief and to the point, as my fellow valedictorians have so graciously done. After 12 years of attending elementary school, middle school, and high school together, after 12 years of seeing many of the same faces, after 12 years of participating in many of the same activities, we all stand on the brink of adulthood together. We have shared many of the same memories, experienced many of the same feelings, and learned many of the same skills. So many years of being nurtured in a safe, similar environment have prepared us for that moment when we all must diverge. Ultimately, it is up to each one of us to decide how to use that preparation for life we have received from our parents, relatives, teachers, and friends. Each of us has different goals and hopes for the future. The uniqueness of each individual's hopes and dreams is what makes our class so special collectively. As we all set forth upon our own path, our common beginnings will always unite us. More than that, I hope that the same message will unite us all. No matter our goal, no matter our dream, we can all embrace the same philosophy while pursuing it. Hope that your achievements in life shall be these: that you will have fought for what was right and fair, that you will have risked for that which mattered, and that you will have given help to those who were in need, and that you will have left the earth a better place for what you've done and who you've been. I congratulate you all on your accomplishments until this point in time. We have all worked hard, matured, and grown into young men and women over the past 4 years. Yet as we stand on the horizon of independence, a vast expanse of unachieved goals lies in front of us. As Dr. Seuss once said, "You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. You are the guy who'll decide where to go." Congratulations, class of 2002. Thank you.
I was walking through a maze of hallways filled with noisy construction, intimidating upperclassmen, and confused freshmen. At the time, our only new concerns consisted of how to get from one end of the building to the other in less than 4 minutes, and whether our best friend was scheduled in the same lunch. Despite our confusion, we were only coming to a school minutes away from our homes and spending the day with the friends we've known for years. The seemingly gigantic leap into high school was nevertheless overwhelming. For the past year, once again, we have been focused on change. First, we made the transition from underclassmen to seniors. Then, we realized that we're graduating and leaving the high school. Next, we'll find ourselves looking for a job or preparing for college. Most unfamiliar, though, is that we're leaving behind our friends and our families. This drastic change from the past 18 years of our lives is, however, at the same time, terrifying and exciting. I believe that facing the future without familiarity will be challenging, but not nearly impossible. As an author once encouraged, the baby rises to its feet, takes a step, is overcome with triumph and joy, and falls flat on its face. But learn, she says, learn from this bewildered baby. Rise to your feet again, and you'll reach the sofa in the end. Despite all the hurdles we face, despite the all-nighters, the impossible exams, the troublesome relationships, and the homesickness, our most recent obstacle will not be our last. So you should keep moving forward, because every obstacle is yet another element in the test of our determination. Finally, I want to thank my mom, my dad, and my brother for being and giving me more than I could ever ask for. And the class of 2002, congratulations, good luck in the future, and thank you.
This is a very big day. Lots of memories, ups and downs, big milestone. I'd like to thank everybody, especially my mom, who told me to always sing, no matter what life deals me or how inappropriate the occasion. So if you'll bear with me for just a moment, I'd like to bid my farewells to Upper St. Clair High School and the class of 2002 in song. Hit it. Goodbye to USC High. Good biddings to all the socials we had to go to, all the verses we had to say, all the people we said hello to. USA, we're coming your way. Some people can be content playing bingo and paying rent. That's living for some people, for some humdrum people. That's just, well, they can stay and rot. But not us. Pow. Thank you. Good luck.
Well, Steve did just take my idea, so I'm in a little bit of trouble here. But seriously, I don't have any words of wisdom, deep thoughts, or any songs for the class of 2002. That's just not me. I would like to take this time to thank the many people who've helped me throughout these 18 years, though. I want to thank God for the talents He's blessed me with and the community I live in. My parents were always pushing me to do the best I possibly could do. My coaches who gave me a shot to perform, my teachers who gave me their best, my family who cared and prayed for my success, and my friends who made me look forward to go to school every day. I look forward to the next 4 years with great anticipation. The experiences, the learning, the wisdom, I hope to acquire at college. I know that the rest of my life will be a journey. But in the first 18 years of my life, I've learned that the most important part of this journey isn't the destination, but how you arrive at that destination. To my senior class, congratulations and God bless you.
While contemplating the topic for my speech, I wanted to come up with something memorable, something that would catch everybody's attention. I wondered what gimmick I could use to make my speech more creative than the traditional speech. Should I tell a joke? Should I do an interpretive dance? Should I even give a speech at all? Then I came to the realization that while a gimmick might be catchy and creative, the substance is what truly matters. The truth is that many of you, myself included, are probably scared of this real world we hear so much about. Scared of starting over with totally unfamiliar people and surroundings. Following today, we will truly enter the real world. We are leaving our isolated bubble of Upper St. Clair and entering reality, far away from the cliques and comfortable roles we have formed for ourselves over the past 12 years. Whatever role you are currently fulfilling, whether it be an athlete or a computer whiz, will have to be reinvented as you embark on your future plans. For many people, this is an open opportunity to erase a bad reputation or come out from a shadow of an older sibling, and in turn become the person you've envisioned yourself becoming. Don't let the constraints of high school limit the person you aspire to be. Take initiative and gain control of your life. After all, as Winston Churchill once said, this is not the end, it is not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning. Now as you turn the page in your future, look far past the obvious outward appearances and catch a glimpse of the true essence inside each and every person you meet. Take the time to gain an understanding of these individuals. You never know where or when you will meet a new lifelong friend. It's often in the most unlikely places. As I depart from Upper St. Clair High School and the friends that have shaped my life thus far, I'd like to encourage you to live your life free of gimmicks. Accept the academic and personal challenge ahead of you and become the person you've always dreamed of becoming. Thank you.
And apprehension, direction and confusion. Graduation is a time full of contradictory emotions. It's like few others we will ever experience in our lives. We are delighted to be venturing forward, yet distressed at the idea of separating from our family, friends, and regimented lifestyles. Whether we are going on to college, working, or have other plans after high school, this will be the first substantial step we take towards the start of our own lives. Naturally, we are apprehensive. We will be venturing out beyond our safe, sheltered environment at Upper St. Clair. We will have to adjust to new people, new environments, new responsibilities, new roles, and new living conditions. For many of us, we have a resolute plan and firm intentions for the next year. We feel as though we are headed in the right direction, and yet we are still very confused. What are our long-term goals? How will we achieve them? What obstacles will we face along the way? With all the confusion we are experiencing, it may be easy to stay within our own comfortable limitations, to ascribe to our own restrictive perceptions, to continue the activities we participated in during high school without looking to broaden our horizons or expand our interests. In reality, the great challenge will be to step out of our existing comfort zones and to embrace this new world of endless possibilities. We have the opportunity to participate in a limitless variety of enriching activities. It may be difficult, but it is our obligation to ourselves and to all those who helped us to get where we are today to benefit from all those available to us. So as we set out in this upcoming year, let us remember to take the time to investigate and to explore these many wondrous opportunities. God bless and may all your dreams come true.
A while ago, one of my teachers asked us whether we would cry at graduation. And this bittersweet day has finally come, the closure for the last 12 years. We all look forward to this day as it concludes a chapter of our past while it opens the door to a new life with more choices and freedoms. But it also marks the parting of friends as each person goes off to pursue a future. College is going to be a huge change from high school, not being able to see recognizable faces, familiar faces every day. But believe me, your true friends, the one who stuck with you through thick and thin, will still be there for you. They will not change. So if you do cry at graduation, think of all the good times to come when you reunite, because large distances cannot easily break a strong friendship. I've been here for a year and a half, but from what I've seen, you guys are one of the most tight-knit communities I've come to know. And to answer that question, I would have to answer no, because I feel that I'll be seeing my friends again. I know that we are such a close group to the point where we can't even get rid of each other, even if we wanted to. Speaking of which, I would like to thank the IB family. You guys have made the last year and a half one heck of a roller coaster ride. To the teachers, thank you for putting up with us for 2 years. We all congratulate you on surviving us, or is it the other way around? To my parents, your support has been my bolster strength during my times when I had difficulty adjusting. To my brother, thank you for spoiling my state of single childedness, but I'm getting used to it. To all of my friends in Canada, I can't forget you. Your friendship is greatly appreciated, especially when I first moved here. And I'd like to thank the fairy godmothers of giftedness. You have really made my days more bearable, if not more amusing. Mrs. P and Margie, thank you. And finally, in closing, I'd like to thank Mama Watts. I'm very grateful for your guidance and friendship, for getting me over the slums. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Dr. Pope, Mrs. Murray, Board of School Directors, parents, teachers, friends, and members of the class of 2002. Welcome to the annual Upper St. Clair High School commencement ceremony. The class of 2002 has been recognized with a wide variety of honors, distinctions, and awards. Among other accomplishments, this class represents 5 National Merit semifinalists, 2 Special Recognition Achievement finalists, 15 commended students, 14 valedictorians, 6 Superintendent's Award winners, 2 National Orchestra finalists, 1 National Chorus finalist, 4 WPIL championships, and 1 state championship. And I also have to add one today. Steve Singerman sang a graduation speech. Of course, with a name like Singerman, I guess it's appropriate. Sounds like Mr. Carmen. The list goes on and on. This year, we have a special achievement in the way of our inaugural class of 6 International Baccalaureate Diploma students. What makes this particularly special is that the mother of our IB program, Dr. Catherine Luke, is also the mother of one of our IB diploma students, Christina Luke. To my chagrin, Dr. Luke is retiring this year as Christina graduates. Congratulations, Dr. Luke. Upper St. Clair has a huge void to fill. The students in the class of 2002 have certainly left a mark on the halls of Upper St. Clair High School. And on a personal note, I feel that they have displayed a high degree of cooperation and courtesy toward the high school staff. Personally, again, thank you, class of 2002. Dr. Pope, as principal of Upper St. Clair High School, I do hereby certify that students gathered before us have met the requirements for graduation as mandated by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the Upper St. Clair Board of School Directors. Dr. Pope, by the way, I like that special retro hat. Dr. Pope, it is with great pleasure that I present to you the Upper St. Clair High School class of 2002.
This speech is particularly special to me because it may be the last commencement speech I will have the honor to give at Upper St. Clair. 13 years ago, I gave my first graduation speech to the class of 1990. You, the members of the class of 2002, were kindergarten students that year. And today, here you are, 13 years later, the graduates of 2002. In some ways, we started together, you as students and I as superintendent. We're now getting ready to go out together, you as students moving on to the next step in your life and career, and I, on the other hand, just moving on. I thought that it might be interesting to look back over the 13 years that you have been in school. What has happened that may be responsible for shaping the future that lies ahead for you and me? To acquire some concrete examples of incidents that may have affected our lives since 1989, I requested resources from our high school library, such as the issues of the Year in Review from Time magazine and America's Century 1900 to 2000, a host of columns and articles on the subject of commencement speeches collected by Mr. Fox served as a reservoir of candid thoughts that allowed me to compare parts of my graduation speech to you today. Frankly, it was a useful experience because we so often get so absorbed in our own self-interest that we fail to see this journey, albeit valuable, as one brief episode in a longer creative adventure. Despite all the aforementioned resources, one of the most useful was the senior issue of the St. Clarion. Isn't that typical? The most meaningful facts for us adults came from the minds and mouths of teenagers. Thank goodness that we occupy the same planet. Parents, on the other hand, occasionally wish we didn't occupy the same homes. But that's a different story. The journey began for both of us in 1989. Just as you were finding your way to kindergarten, the supertanker Exxon Valdez dropped 11 million gallons of oil on the wildlife-rich coastline of Alaska. And the Berlin Wall, the world's most visible symbol of oppression, crumbled, and I became your district's fourth superintendent. There may have been a message there. The world took a turn for the better for all of us in the early 1990s when Nelson Mandela was elected president of South Africa, the Soviet Union collapsed, and Kuwait was freed by the Americans and their allies in Operation Desert Storm. Our country was not without tragedy, however, when rioters ravaged Los Angeles after the Rodney King verdict, and the headquarters of David Koresh and the Branch Davidians in Waco, Texas, was engulfed in flames. In 1994, the students who are graduating today left their elementary schools to continue the journey. In that year, while we were watching OJ driving his white Bronco on TV, the district was completing the addition at Boyce Middle School just in time for the class of 2002 to take up residence there. In 2 short years, the graduates of today traveled to the north side of the township and became teenagers together at the recently renovated Fort Koch Middle School. And continuing on the progression of years in schools and renovations, your entry to the high school was marked by the beginning of the construction for the beautiful, renovated, remodeled new high school, which is our legacy to every student in every class who will follow. We both learned to develop resiliency during the construction transition, and we have enjoyed the new facility for the past 2 years. Symbolically, perhaps this represents the challenges and accomplishments we both faced during those years. But the building alone is secondary to the people and the practices that occur within. Back to the national scene, during your high school years, the tobacco companies made a $368.5 billion deal to settle claims against them, and a school tragedy at Columbine made us stop, pause, and say thanks for keeping us safe here. In many ways, your senior year will be marked by our collective reaction to the tragedy of the World Trade Centers, the Pentagon, and Somerset last September. It is likely that Americans will remember terrorists bringing down the Twin Towers more than anything else that happened that year. We have all said many prayers since that day. Much has been written about the day, the savage attack, and the thousands who were killed on September 11th. This class has obviously had to change the way it plans, lives, and travels. The world will never be the same again, and we now need to focus on our own immortality more than ever. But let's keep today for our seniors. On a table in our office at home is painted, "In your heart, keep one still secret spot where dreams may go." Well, today is one of those days filled with all the dreams we have for the future in ourselves. Never be afraid to dream. Teenagers and adults see the future differently. I love working where I see and talk to students every day. That way my youth never ends. Looks and health may change, but being with you, young folks, never gets old and boring. This is in part because you are at the early stages of your life story. Speaking of stories, I am reminded of the novel Jane Eyre, which is about a governess whose life, with its moments of joy, happiness, and sorrow, shows us that we will create our own personal story through the challenges we address and overcome. Supreme Court Justice Breyer, in a commencement address to the Stanford graduates, tells us, "Most important, our stories include our own justifications for our actions and our motives in light of our values. We cannot escape the negative meaning that a failure of integrity, a failure to live up to our own basic standards of right and wrong, will give the story that throughout our lives we tell ourselves." I agree with the philosopher who said that money can vanish overnight, power disappear, even that bubble reputation can evaporate, but character, personal integrity, is a rock that is secure and that no one can ever take from you. As I began, we have traveled these past 13 years together, meeting new challenges. Anna Quinlan, a writer for Newsweek, said in a speech to the graduating class of Villanova, "You walk out of here with only one thing that no one else has. There will be hundreds of people out there with your degree, thousands doing what you want to do for a living, but you will be the only person alive who has sole custody of your life. Your particular life, not just your life at your desk, your life in your car, or at the computer. Not just a life in your mind, but the one in your heart. The challenges for what you are just beginning. My, what practice you've had for the past 13 years. Meryl Streep, the Oscar-winning actress, when asked at a commencement speech what life was like after graduation, responded, "You're leaving college now and going out into real life. And you have to realize that real life is not like college. Real life is like high school." If Meryl Streep is right, you have already tasted, heard, and felt the real world. You've been living in the real world for 18 years or more. The difference, as Bill Cosby told the graduates at UConn, you've seen the real world, been out there. You keep coming back. The truth is responsibility. You can't blame anyone. Well, that's it. You are responsible for your own story. That story will include moments of happiness and sorrow, of triumph and defeat, of truth and integrity, and the disappointment we feel when we fail to live up to our own values. Regardless, your personal integrity is the one true measure of the quality of your character. Listen, laugh, be kind and humble, and if you're determined to see into the future, go to the movies and watch Star Wars. To the class of 2002, education begins at your mother's knee, and every word spoken within hearing of little children is inclined toward the formation of character. Let me close with the advice of John Wesley, an 18th century clergyman. Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can. May God always bless the class of 2002. May I present the school board president, Mr. James Murdy.
Thank you, Dr. Pope. There have been many important things said this afternoon by the valedictorians, by Dr. Kushner, and especially just now by Dr. Pope. That was excellent. Speaking for the school board, I'd like to congratulate each graduate and all the parents. Dr. Pope set a historic context for this class. It is unique. You've seen so much at such a young age. I'll stay with his historic theme. You're historic not for what you've done, but for what you can accomplish. Accomplish for yourselves and accomplish for all of us. You're the second high school class of a new century, a new millennium, a new 1,000 years. But you need to think of this. If I counted in the program correctly, there are 324 of you graduating today. 324 Upper St. Clair 18-year-olds. And I understand there's some 17-year-olds, but stay with the story. Now, in the entire world, there are roughly 100 million 18-year-olds. That means you are only 3/1000ths of 1% of the worldwide class of 2002. 3/1000ths of 1%. Now, in math class, did you ever solve for such a small number? So in an arithmetical sense, this class is inconsequential, demonstrably inconsequential. But this school district doesn't believe you're inconsequential, and you can't believe you're inconsequential. This class and graduating classes like this across America and across the rest of the civilized world have to carry a tremendous burden, because it's so sad and so sobering to realize that tens of millions of today's 18-year-olds won't contribute to our world. You may be the tiniest fraction of the sheer world numbers, but you are a crucial fraction of the world's hope. Is there a graduating class anywhere today that's expected to accomplish more than your parents, your teachers, and this community expect you to accomplish? There isn't. Today's speeches have included many thoughtful quotes. In closing, let's add another quote, a quote that must set the tone for this class. Remember the truly heroic passengers who forced Flight 93 to crash near Somerset, Pennsylvania. It's within 100 miles of here, and that plane may have actually flown over Upper St. Clair on September 11th, just 9 months ago. Think of what those heroes did. They had 3 data points. They had the Twin Towers, they had the Pentagon. And they only had a few brief moments to recognize and then deal with a devastating threat. They believed they were the only answer to that threat. Our government is now convinced that that plane was headed for the White House. So what did they say when they took their bold action? They said, let's roll. This evening, your moms and your dads, your grandmothers, your grandfathers, your entire family, your teachers, and everyone here in Upper St. Clair wants you to recognize in your bright young minds and in your God-given souls that you also need to do honorable, brave things. Every day of your lives, we want you to say, I can do it, we can do it, let's roll. Thank you.
Shannon Kathleen Gorder, Senior Class President.
Frank Joseph Palermo III, Senior Class Treasurer.
Matthew Thomas Spearis, Valedictorian, Senior Class Vice President.
Victoria Gaitis, Senior Class Secretary.
Lauren Blaine Kahn, Student Council Vice President.
Teresa Ann Shirley, Student Council President.
Brent Aaron Jackson, Valedictorian.
Shoshana Hedda Ballou, Valedictorian.
Amy Rose Lorenzi, Valedictorian.
Michael Harris Isco, Valedictorian.
Aditya Shankanarayan, Valedictorian.
Holly Beth Law, Valedictorian, Student Council Executive Officer.
Stephen Robert Singerman, Valedictorian, International Baccalaureate Diploma Candidate.
Ashima Mathur, Valedictorian.
Jenna Lee Young, Valedictorian.
Amisha Mukesh Shah, Valedictorian.
Sarah Shokwa Zhang, Valedictorian, International Baccalaureate Diploma Candidate.
Kevin Michael Slowey, Valedictorian.
Emily Marie Lovell, International Baccalaureate Diploma Candidate.
Carl Edward Zellick, Valedictorian.
Mark Peter O'Connor, International Baccalaureate Diploma Candidate.
Troy W. Bailey, International Baccalaureate Diploma Candidate.
Rajvi Rasik Acharya.
Christina Catherine Luke, International Baccalaureate Diploma Candidate.
Heather Aaron Alt.
Brian James Lewis.
Michael Francis Anderson.
Justin Harrison Lloyd.
David Nicholas Andrews.
Caitlin P. Lucas.
Samuel John Arthurs.
Elizabeth Ann Lally, Superintendent's Academic Achievement Award recipient.
Bethany Jill Astorino.
Chrissy M. Lunny.
Gail Catherine Banasek.
Samuel A. Lutz.
Lisa Joanna Berry.
Suzanne Kara Lyon.
Bridget Ann Bauer.
Jeremy Alexander Mackey.
Christina Elizabeth Baumgardner.
Christopher John Madden.
Amy Jo Beaver.
Ashley Hope Madavi.
Megan Lynn Bell.
Jeffrey Ryan Malarkey.
Matthew Samuel Burtenthaw.
Stacy Lynn Malkin, Student Council Executive Officer.
Ramamurti Bhagavatula.
Anthony William Mariani.
Rachel Mary Bonato.
Raymond W. Marinpetro III.
Adam Michael Bishop.
Christopher Taylor Marsh.
Stephen Jarrett Bonenberger.
Catherine Diane Martin.
Courtney Aaron Boyd.
Brian Robert Matthews.
Michelle Rachel Branovan.
Michael Brian McMahon.
Amanda Christine Kwan Brockler.
Charles A. McFeeters.
Amanda Marie Brennan.
Megan Marie McGinnis.
Adam Ashley Brendel.
Megan Lynn McGroarty.
Allison Whitney Brown.
William Charles McIntyre III.
Lindsay Joy Beeler.
Aaron Lee McKelvey.
Melissa Ann Bunn.
Jaya Mehta.
Jenna Ann Kane.
Masood Mamarzadeh.
Michael James Camerote.
Megan Lee Mendes.
Sarah Christine Cameron, Superintendent's Academic Achievement Award recipient.
Kara Eileen McCullough, Superintendent's Academic Achievement Award recipient.
Stephen Patrick Campbell.
Elizabeth Louise Miller, Superintendent's Academic Achievement Award recipient.
Leanne Carter.
Emily Susan Miller.
Kevin Michael Cartier.
Erin Michelle Miller.
Bailey Elizabeth Kassler.
Julie Adele Moritz.
Christina Da-Ing Chen.
Caitlin Elizabeth Morrow.
Christopher Robert Chrisman.
Robert Evan Muffley.
Joshua Robert Sabella.
Megan Marie Morocco.
William Woods Clark.
Brittany Aaron Murray.
Laura Ann Klink.
Stephanie Marie Murray.
Lauren Marie Collinger.
Amanda Marie Musser.
Christopher Timothy Collins.
Brendan Miles Myers.
Lauren Elise Kolodny.
Andrew Arish Naderi.
Ryan T. Conboy.
Amanda Justine Nizer.
Aaron Rose Connor.
Marie Noel Nicholson Hutt.
Daniel Coleman Connolly.
Matthew Sam McGrelly.
David Blake Cowles.
Ryan Daniel Noon.
Jenny Ann Crandall.
Christopher J. Naroski.
Tanner John Crossley.
Danielle Nabani.
Allison York Davis.
John Brian O'Connor.
Colin William Davis.
Justin James O'Connor.
Diane Nicole Dawkins.
Sarah Marie Otis.
Vanessa Marie Day.
Ashley Ann Olchek.
Jessica Joy DiCarlo.
Jennifer Amanda Olchek.
Reed Jacob Decato.
Brian Todd Olendike.
Matthew Royal D.
Molly Reagan O'Neill.
Patrick Parker Degnan.
Lisa Kathleen Orion.
David Anthony Del Bianco.
Stephen George Oswald.
Derek Scott Dempsey.
Peter John Palladino.
Samuel Deep IV.
Frank M. Panapino.
Justin Julian DeRisi.
Joseph Francis Pascarella.
Daniel Joseph DeSantis.
Megan Marie Paschel.
Gina Marie DeSimone.
Georgette Marie Pascarelli.
Viviana DePerna.
Melissa Angela Pascarelli.
David Michael DeSilvio, Student Council Executive Officer.
Rajit Pasmaka Patel.
Kristen Jill Doden.
Stephanie Marie Pegnatero.
Eric Anthony Dologowski.
Jonathan Michael Petrusik.
Brian Patrick Doherty.
Joanne Asta Peterson.
Stephen Bruce Douglas Jr.
Craig Anthony Poole.
Zachary Frank Dupree.
Cyrus Radfar.
Megan Elizabeth Anarino.
Sandy Rajandaran.
Brendan Robert Enoch.
Tracy Suzanne Rankin.
Amanda Marie Ernie.
Yogender Rathore.
Amanda Sue Evans.
Amy Towns Record.
Justin Charles False.
Sahit C. Reddy.
Trevor Charles Valletta.
Margaret Patricia Reddy.
Andrew David Fedorchak.
Jonathan Robert Rowley.
Jessica Maraway Fink.
Robert John Rionda III.
Kevin Richard Fisher.
Dina Marie Robinson.
Matthew Brian Fleming.
Jennifer Marie Robeson.
Kurt Charles Frisch III.
Jennifer Nicole Rocco.
Jerome John Frost.
Timothy Matthew Roach.
Tara Marie Frick.
Robert Walter Rogers Jr.
Kabir Gandhi.
Sandra Lee Roma.
Jeffrey Michael Garofalo.
Mindy Beth Rosen.
Elizabeth Ann Gartland.
Dominic Ross.
Jean Broderick Gates.
Carolyn J. Rulon.
Patrick Christopher Gideon.
Lindsay Ann Ruskowski.
Scott Andrew Geiger.
Jonathan Edward Safka.
Catherine Lee Geis.
Carlin Angela Salomon.
Philip J. Geisler Jr.
Justin Robert Salomon.
Adam Gesk.
Matthew James Salerno.
George Paul Geyer III.
Vinny Ashok Sarapeshkar.
Michelle Elise Gilbert.
Jeffrey Schaefer.
Jessica Rochelle Gibson.
Eliza Renee Shapiro.
Akash Goel.
Lucas Anthony Schill.
Adam Ross Goldblatt.
Paul Jason Schreiner.
Jessica Zimmerman Gumbar.
Nikolai Andrew Sherko.
Kathleen Renee Grace.
Nakia Scott.
Christina Marie Graff.
John Christopher Sebastian.
Laura Kristen Hall.
Michael Stanley Cedar.
Michelle Ann Haller.
Adina Michelle Seidenfeld.
Brittany Elise Hambleton.
Kelly Elizabeth Selton.
Heather Ray Hanley.
Lindsay Patricia Selton.
Brett Allen Harkreader.
Kevin Burnell Shear.
Matthew Houth.
Robert Charles Short.
William Scott Hadeas.
Evan Charles Siddell.
Christopher Charles Heisler.
Ashley Francis Smith.
Bethany Claire Henderson.
Holly Stahora.
Kimberly Walton Henderson.
Joshua Matthew Stein.
Kelly Margaret Herman.
Kelly Lynn Stevenson.
Pedro Galvo Herson.
Leslie M. Stokel.
Lindsay Janelle Hess.
Shannon Leslie Strayer.
Nicole Marie Hill.
H. Thomas Striegel.
Daniel Matthew Hennebush.
Zachary Brown Stringy.
Karen Nicole Hopkins.
Juan Antonio Suarez.
Jeffrey Michael Howard.
Lee Patricia Solkowski.
Daniel L. Ilson.
Matthew John Sullivan.
Ryan John Jenny.
Victor Benjamin Surma.
Courtney Margaret Jesselnick.
Pamela Ann Swaney, Superintendent's Academic Achievement Award recipient.
Brian Allen Johnson.
Stacy Lee Swarner.
Eric Lewis Johnson.
Daniel Joshua Sweet.
John Scott Johnson.
Adrian Michelle Talarico.
Marcus Edward Johnson.
Mary Catherine Tater.
Jessica Lee Jones, Superintendent's Academic Achievement Award recipient.
Amelia Tessier.
Elizabeth Ann Kale.
Edward Garth Timlin.
Hillary Elise Katz.
Kristen Kopp.
Corey Keller.
Amanda Jean Trigar.
Christopher Edward Kelly.
Eric Clifford Ulrich.
Kathleen Ellen Kelly.
Amanda Marie Venore.
Lindsay Kelly.
Matthew Edward Votis.
April Michelle Kittner.
Christine Louise Waller.
Melissa Dawn Kessner.
Katie Rose Walsh.
Nathan John Kohler.
Lindsay Camille Walton, Student Council Executive Officer.
Ashley Carol Comer.
Derek Wang.
Jeffrey Carl Conkle.
Michael A. Warburton.
Christy Corzin.
Richard Raymond Ward.
Susan Alexandra Craw.
Joshua Ragsdale Watts.
Nicole Marie Kress.
Lindsay Christine Whalen.
Derek Michael Croner.
Zachary James White.
Matthew Herman Crummert.
Christopher John Whiteside.
Joni Marie Kursine.
Matthew Paul Wiles.
William Corey Langley.
Bradley Michael Wilson.
Stephen R. Lanzalotti.
Matthew John Winkler.
Patrick Michael Lee.
William John Whitting IV. Jessica Lee Warner.
We win.
Kristen Rebecca Yannick. Claire Cecilia Yeagers, Superintendent's Academic Achievement Award recipient. Allison Marie Zemba. James Edward Zezetek. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Upper St. Clair class of 2002.